How does your life feel to you? When you think about where you are in life, when you think about your career, your family, your relationships, does it feel like everything has fallen into place, like you're exactly where you're meant to be, like this is what you thought your life would look like? Or does it feel like things are not in alignment? They're not in congruence. Things are just not working. They're not fitting in your life. Because the reality is that at the end of the day, you've got to create a life that honors your soul. And in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 ways to do that. 5 ways to create a life that honors your soul. Let's talk about it. Hi there, I'm Cassandra Vaughn, and this is Cassandra Vaughn TV, a life redesign channel for women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who want to rebuild their minds, redesign their lives, and reestablish their powerful sense of self-worth. Now, if you're a woman in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, and you are ready to rebuild your life, meaning you are ready to put on your crown, to reclaim the throne, and to rule your kingdom, click subscribe and click the bell, and you'll be alerted every time there's a new video, and they will all relate to you. So I get this question a lot from women who listen to my podcast, She Runs the Show, from women who read my books, including, let me show you this book right here, Live Your Life. Now, I wrote this book. It's called Live Your Life, 21 Get It Together Talks that will get you out of your head and into your life. I wrote this book because I needed to have a Get It Together talk with myself. So I literally wrote this book talking to myself. And I get this question a lot from the women that I coach, from the women who listen to the She Runs the Show podcast that I host, from women interested in the 10-week Rebuild Yourself program. I get this question a lot, and it's this: how do I create the life I really want? I know what I'm living right now is not where I want to be. What do I got to do to create the life that I really want? And here's the thing, and I say this in Live Your Life. This is why I had to have this Get It Together talk with myself. I say this in this book, and I coach my clients on this all the time. And in the 10-week Rebuild Yourself program, I teach this all the time because it bears repeating. Here's the thing. You cannot create a life that honors your soul if you keep settling for a life that doesn't. Let me say that again. You can't create a life that honors your soul if you keep settling for one that doesn't. So we got to start there. We got to start with, you're not going to create the life you want if you keep tolerating a life that doesn't honor your soul. Which is why in today's video, I want to talk about the key steps that you need to take to actually do that, to create a life that honors your soul. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about 5 ways to create a life that honors your soul. Way number 1, or strategy number 1, script the life you want. Script the life you want. So what do I mean by scripting? So scripting is used in all kinds of practices. As coaches, we use scripting. I know therapists, especially those who ascribe to the narrative form of therapy. I don't think it's called narrative therapy, but it's kind of somewhere along the lines of that. They use scripting as a tool when working with clients. And the nature of scripting is this: pull out a pen and a piece of paper, preferably in a journal, and I want you to write your life exactly the way you want it to be. If you think about it, as kids, we did this all the time. Not only did we write down our goals as kids, we wrote down like, I'm this person and I'm doing this and my life looks like this and I do. You've got to do the same thing as an adult. So the first way that you can create a life that honors your soul is to write out in pen and paper so you can get super clear on the vision for your life. Because here's the thing, you can't get to the life you want if you're not crystal clear on exactly what's in that life. So I want you to get a journal that is just for creating a life that honors your soul. Only that in it. Please do not mix stuff in that journal and put like daily to-dos. No, I want a beautiful journal. Go find it at Barnes & Noble, buy it off of Amazon, and it's just for scripting your future, your vision, your life. And I want you to write in that journal every day, at least 5 minutes a day. I want you to script, this is what my best life looks like. This is what it feels like. I wake up every day and I do this. This is the career that I'm in. Here's how my relationship feels every day. I also want you to script in this journal on a daily basis, how does your life feel when shit's hitting the fan? Because even in a great life, shit still hits the fan. So I want you to script, in a hard time, this is how I still find joy. This is how I still find peace. When things are not going well, this is how it feels. Because again, you don't want to create some vision that's like Pollyanna-ish to the max and basically lays out only the best case scenario. No, you want to create a vision for your life like the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is what a life that honors my soul looks like on a daily basis. So I want you to add to your daily practice at least 5 minutes a day of scripting your vision of a life that honors your soul in a journal. Now, comment below and begin that scripting process. I literally want you to comment below with 1 to 3 sentences where you just start in the comments. What would that life look like? A life that honors your soul. Just begin the scripting process by leaving a comment. My life would look like this. 1 to 3 sentences, comment below. So the second way to create a life that honors your soul is to decide what your top 3 values are. So let's get this out of the way. You have a lot of values in your life. You have a lot of things that are core values that at the heart of you go, this is what matters to me most. And the problem for most of us is not that we don't know what our values are. It's that our top values conflict with each other. So you might have a top core value of family mixed with a top core value of achievement. So you've got family as a top core value. Family comes first. Achievement is also at the top of that list. And so you feel the value conflict between my family comes first, but I'm an achiever. And so my career takes a lot of my time because I firmly believe that at the heart of living is achieving. So we got to find ways to deal with value conflict. And the best way to do that is you've got to identify for yourself, of all the values in your life, what are your top 3 values? What are the things that non-negotiably, they must come first? If you've got 10 values that you really appreciate, those 3 come first, no matter what. Meaning you will put down the other 7 of those top 10 values to accommodate the top 3. And you really don't want those top 3 to be the values that really conflict with each other. For example, if your top value above everything else is family, meaning family comes first, my life is built around my family, everything else comes second, then you can't complain that you didn't make partner at your law firm, because that conflicts with family coming above everything else. If you're gonna make partner, you're gonna have to work the hours required to make partner at your law firm, which means you're going to have to compromise the value of family at some point. So I want you to get super clear on what are your top 3 values. So what are the 3 values that define what it means to live your truest, best life? Write them down in that journal that we talked about with, writing down the vision for your life, and put them on a Post-it note somewhere where you see them every single day and say, these are my values. And so every day as you're living your life, the way that we create a life that honors our soul is that we live those 3 values every single day, so that whenever a decision has to be made about compromising any of those 3 values, all we have to do is look at our Post-it note and go, no, these top 3 values are what they are. And so if ever I get a question, or if I have to make a life decision, or even a daily decision, and that decision impacts one of those top 3 values, I already know the answer. The answer is no. The answer is no. And that makes life super simple. But when you're trying to juggle all of these different, you've got like 15 values at play. You have the value of health, and then you have the value of loyalty, and then you have the value of self-care. Well, you know what? Your value of loyalty could seriously conflict with your value of self-care. Loyalty to other people versus taking care of yourself. So I want you to decide, what are your top 3 core values? Put them on a Post-it note, put them in your journal, and I want you to have that Post-it note wherever you can see it. And I want you to remind yourself throughout the day, I live by these top 3 values. And so when other values come into conflict, when decisions need to be made, you know what are automatic yeses and automatic nos. Top 3 values, write them down, put them in front of you at all times so you can check and make sure that you're actually living them. And when you live those top 3 values, you become congruent with who you say you are. And the congruence is what creates a life that honors your soul. Third way to create a life that honors your soul. Super simple. Get the manipulators out of your life. Get the manipulators out of your life. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The people who really don't want to see you happy. The people who start to see you rise and develop and evolve, and they find subconscious and unconscious ways to sabotage your process. The people who use the guilt, blame, shame game to hold you back. You cannot create a life that honors your soul and keep those people in your inner circle. You need to fire them from your inner circle. They need to be cast out immediately. You need to say, bye, Felicia. You need to drop them like it's hot. Because at the end of the day, nobody's neutral. I say this all the time on my Instagram TV videos. Nobody's neutral. Either somebody is bringing you down or they are lifting you up. There is no in between. And right now, if your life isn't where you want it to be, if you want to create a life that honors your soul, you have no time for other people's drama. You got enough of your own. You got enough of your own. So you need to get the manipulators, and you know who I'm talking about. You know exactly. As soon as I said that, you knew who I was talking about. Get them out of your life. Distance yourself from them. Disown them if you have to. Certainly fire them from your inner circle, but you cannot put your energy into creating a life that honors your soul while also putting out the fire of dealing with them all the time. Bye, Felicia. Bye to that. Bye to that. Let them go. Fourth way to create a life that honors your soul. Focus on what brings you joy, even when life isn't. So, and I know you know this because you've lived long enough to know this. It is so easy to get caught up in the are we there yet mentality of living. It is so easy to get caught up in waiting for a future point, a future goal to be achieved, when I have kids, when I get married, when I become a physician, when I get this next degree, when I build my dream house. It is so easy to get caught up in the when I do A, B, C, D, and E. And the reality of the situation is that you're never gonna arrive. You're never gonna get there, meaning you're gonna get to the next goal and you're gonna feel happy for 5 seconds, and then you're gonna be like, well, what's next? What's next? So your whole life is gonna be all of these mountaintop moments and all of these valley years. All of these mountaintop moments and all of these valley years. And since you're gonna spend most of your life in the valley and climbing the mountain, then we've gotta find ways to bring joy into the process of getting to each new point. So I want you to do this. Focus on what brings you joy even when life isn't. Meaning, in this moment, as you're working to change your life, redesign your mind, rebuild, what can you enjoy about today? What can you enjoy about this moment? If life is sucking right now, what can you appreciate? What can you be grateful for? Your strength of mind, your focus, your purpose, knowing what you want, even though you're being, the current temporary circumstances are giving you everything you don't want. Knowing that this is not what you want is something to appreciate. So I want you to work on finding joy in today, because that, you know how in the Bible it says, and you don't have to be a biblical person to get what I'm about to say. So it doesn't matter what your religion, what your spirituality status is. But in the Bible it says the joy of the Lord is your strength. And I think it also in different places refers to joy as a sword, right? Like a sword we wield. And so it doesn't matter your spirituality context. But I want you to get this idea that joy to the soul is fuel for the soul. Joy fuels you. It brings passion and creativity and innovation and focus. Joy is a tool to to use. So you've got to get good at cultivating joy so you can build the momentum, you can sustain it, you can stay the course on a goal or dream, so that even when sucky moments and seasons happen in your life, because you know how to cultivate joy even in those moments, you can keep going. You can get to the mountaintop, and then you can go back down, and you can deal with valley issues, and yet the joy can be cultivated because you've taught yourself how to do that. So for this fourth way to create a life that honors your soul, I really want you to focus on what brings you joy, especially when life isn't bringing you joy right now. Like, create your own joy. You ever see a child, and this is so cute, but children are exceptionally good at this. So they could have just been mad with their younger brother or sister. They could have just beat them up, like 5-year-olds beating their 3-year-old brother or sister up. And they could be or you put them in timeout and they're just, and then before you know it, they're sitting in the corner of timeout and they're like, they're playing, they're playing games in their head. Like, you put them in timeout so they could feel bad, right? But here they are in timeout having a great old time. You know why? Because little kids know how even in sucky moments like being in timeout, they know how to cultivate their own joy. They know even when they're pissed off how to cultivate their own joy. Even when their older brother and sister beats them up, they know how to cultivate. The next second, they know how to cultivate their own joy. We gotta get back to that. So I want you to focus on what brings you joy, even when life isn't. That is the next strategy. So the fifth and final strategy to creating a life that honors your soul is this: invest the time and energy into building the life you want. In other words, go all in. Go all in on building the life you want. Now, I'm going to say a couple of things super quick about this. It is going to take months and probably years to create a life that honors your soul. There's no way around that. There's no Cliff Notes version. There's no shortcuts. It's probably going to take you years. And I know a lot of people get to the point where they go, but I'm 45. I don't have years. Like, can't I just fast track this and do it? No, you can't. No, you can't. Listen, even if it takes you from 45 to 55 to create a life that honors your soul, the time is going to pass anyway. You're still going to get older. And you know what? You're worth it. How about that? You're worth it. So I want you to take an all-in mentality. I want you to take a whatever it takes, however long it takes. I'm going to be here until I get there. I'm putting creating a life that honors my soul first. And so it doesn't matter how many hours it takes. It doesn't matter how many days, how many weeks, how many months, how many failures I have to go through before I get there. When you go all in, when you actually say, I am committing to investing the time and energy required, even if I don't know how much that time and energy is yet, into building the life I want, it simply means that whatever it takes, whatever it takes is whatever it takes, and you're willing to go all in. No excuses. No using age as a reason for you not to do this because it's going to take too long. Listen, you got till you die. How about that? You have until you die. So, and you don't know when that's going to be. Could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be 40 freaking years from now. You have till you die. So, I want you to have that all-in mentality, because so often we look at our lives and we go, why didn't I do this 10 years ago, 20 years ago? I was just talking to somebody about the fact that I should have done my PhD in clinical psych decades ago. Like, I knew when I was about 21 that I wanted to do a PhD in clinical psych. And now in my 40s, I'm just now getting back to the idea of doing my PhD in clinical psych, even though I did most of a master's in marriage and family therapy, even though I have most of an MFT. Now in my 40s, I'm going, I think it's kind of time to do my PhD in clinical psych. And that's called 5 more years of schooling. That's called another year or 2 after that of thousands of hours of therapy for free to get licensed. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm gonna do. And it doesn't matter that I'm in my 40s. And it doesn't matter that I won't be a doctor of clinical psychology until I'm in my 50s. I'm gonna be here anyway, hopefully. So why am I worried about the time? I'm not. You know the life that you want, and you know what's gonna honor your soul. Invest the time and energy into doing whatever you have to do to build it. Period. The end. There you have it, my 5 ways to create a life that honors your soul. If you know that you're ready to do that, then it's time to rebuild yourself. And I'd like to invite you to my 10-week Rebuild Yourself program. This is an online mastery program. It is about mindset mastery for women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. It will literally change the game on how you create that life that honors your soul. Please go to CassandraVon.com/programs to learn more about the 10-week Rebuild Yourself program. You can email me if you have questions about it. We can talk about it, but I want you to know this. I am here to support you in creating a life that honors your soul. And one of the best ways you can do that is to rebuild yourself from the inside out, starting with mindset. So go to CassandraVon.com/programs and check out my 10-week Rebuild Yourself program. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with somebody you know who really needs to watch this. Once again, thank you for watching and have an amazing week.